With determination filling her every step, Ruuna trudged up the hill to the cliff-top crest in order to meet Mr. Butterfly. The capricious wind, now playing a sporadic symphony, hinted at approaching clouds that loomed ominously on the horizon, their advance palpable to her discerning gaze. A disconcerting tremor coursed through her being, causing her fur to bristle and her heart to quicken its beat. A tightness and sensation of doom settled upon her chest like a leaden weight, foretelling of impending peril. The final strides, burdened by apprehension, elongated into an eternity. But when she reached the summit, her searching eyes met only emptiness.
Mr. Butterfly, are you there?
But Ruuna's voice seemed lost only to the winds. A stray breath swept over the crest, causing Ruuna's form to shudder involuntarily, while her cape fluttered in wild disarray. In the tempest's embrace, her cheesecloth headpiece was snatched away, stolen by the capricious breeze, vanishing into the realms of oblivion. A sense of loss tugged at her heartstrings as she turned in a futile attempt to reclaim what was now lost forever.
No! My do-rag! I'm sorry, Mum.
A surge of melancholy welled within her, threatening to spill forth as teardrops pooled in her glistening eyes. The spectre of doom loomed, its grip tightening upon her fragile spirit. Drawn by an insatiable yearning for solace and companionship, she approached the very edge of the cliff, straining her gaze to discern any sign of Dilly or her caring mother, Harriet. Alas, the vista revealed naught but vast expanses of fenced fields, extending as far as the eye could see. Even her father's presence eluded her sight, lost amidst the white curtains of mist throughout the valley. The storm inched closer, heralding its approach with a gentle drizzle that whispered of the torrential downpour yet to come. Amidst this tumultuous backdrop, a scent, borne upon the capricious wind, caught Ruuna's attention, an elusive whiff of smoke. Intrigued, she endeavored to trace its origin, cautiously inching closer to the perilous precipice. Yet, as realization dawned upon her, fear surged forth, threatening to engulf her very being. The smoke, the harbinger of destruction, emanated from her cherished abode, casting its menacing pall over the haven she held dear. A voice cut through the wind, with anger and greed as its defining note, though it was swiftly deafened by the harsh breeze of the encroaching thunderstorm.
Ow! You...
Ruuna didn't recognize this voice.
Dada?
He never gets angry, like Dilly's father does sometimes, right? Agitated by a maelstrom of emotion, Ruuna grappled with her predicament, cognizant of the urgency that demanded action. Yet, in the face of an inferno engulfing her humble abode, with her parents absent from sight, doubt clung to her like a shadow. What could a diminutive mouse-pup hope to accomplish amidst the tempestuous fury of a storm? Yearning for the reassuring presence of Dilly or the enigmatic Mr. Butterfly, she sought solace in their imagined support. And then, amidst the chaos, a figure materialized, emerging from the very threshold of her smoldering home. The silhouette paused in his tracks, causing Ruuna to instinctively lower her head and stiffen. She was now fear-ridden and unable to move. The identity of this intruder eluded her, but her instincts warned of a potential danger if discovered. Holding her breath, with battered hope, she strained her ears, but the whooshing of the gusting wind and the gentle patter of raindrops drowned out any telltale signs. Moments stretched like eternity as Ruuna cautiously raised her head, only to find an empty path leading to her ajar back door. Looking left, then right, she held her paws close to her, hoping that a saving grace would befall her. But alas, no such thing came. Looking down, she realized it was up to her to get home and put the blaze out.
Only way back is down now.
It would not be an easy descent. Gathering courage, despite her mother's previous admonitions, Ruuna straddled the crag's edge to confront the enigma that awaited within. Nervously, she propelled herself over the precipice, her tiny form shuffling downward along the treacherous cliffside. The slick rocks soon betrayed her footing, and she found herself slipping uncontrollably. Panic surged within her, her velocity increasing with each passing moment. Desperation gripped her as she attempted to anchor her claws into the unforgiving stone, scratching and scraping painfully. But her efforts proved futile. Helpless and fear-ridden, she closed her eyes, surrendering to the unknown, praying that this wouldn't be her final cry. She screamed, then gasped, muffled, and squeaked as she tumbled, bounced, and somersaulted off the rocky cliff face, her tiny frame at the mercy of gravity. Eventually, she reached the perilous bottom, where she uncurled and skidded to a halt, her stomach pressed against the damp grass. The impact was hard. There was a moment's quiet as Ruuna lay, enveloped in the cool wetness of the grass. Soon, she gradually opened her eyes, only to be greeted by a brilliant spectacle. The heavens unleashed a fierce bolt of lightning, striking the earth with a great white flash. It seemed so near, but the lack of any sound meant it had to have been at least a good hour's walk away. Yet as soon as it had stricken, it had disappeared into the atmosphere. Still disoriented, Ruuna was left puzzled as she waited for the sound to reach her. Not but only a few seconds later, the thunder boomed forth with a loud, rolling rumble. Overwhelmed by the deafening tumult, Ruuna instinctively covered her ears and screamed in terror, desperately shielding herself from the assaulting roar, seeking to preserve her fragile sense of hearing. The sound reverberated through the vast expanse as rain cascaded in torrents, as if commanded by the thunder's orchestration. Gradually, the thunderous symphony subsided, leaving behind naught but the relentless howl of wind and the steady drumming of raindrops. With paws weakened and battered, her eyes filled with tears, and her voice strained and weary, she summoned the strength to push herself upright. Sniffles mingled with painful gasps, reminders of the tribulations endured.
Mama, Dada, please!
But only the pounding rains and gusting winds answered the call. The hurt mouse pup took several steps toward the burning house. She began to cry, along with the gloomy zephyrs, when she realized that her mom and Dada were nowhere to be found. Ruuna, in her weakened state, sank into a seated position, seeking solace and a modicum of comfort. Her tail instinctively coiled around her ankles, an attempt to find relief and stillness within herself. Alas, the soothing effect she yearned for proved elusive, failing to quell the storm of emotions raging within her.
I'm scared.
She continued as she sat and tightly held her legs, her snout concealed within her lap while the rain continued its ceaseless cascade. 'Twas a saddened moment indeed, as she shed helpless tears for many a minute. Soon, blackness enveloped her as she succumbed to a lonesome, unconscious embrace.